Hey everybody, I'm Josh Skinner for WithJosh.com, and with me is the lovely Kris Jenner. Kris, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Inviting me into your lovely home.
Isn't it great?
Yeah, I've been doing all of my keeping up with the Kardashian research, and we have a lot to talk about today. And you're about to start a brand new season next month on E!
Yeah, we're starting a new season. Actually, the famous Jeff Andrews just finished designing this house, so the viewers are going to see a whole new house.
Your house is amazing.
Isn't it
what does
fabulous?
home mean to you when you're approaching from a design perspective?
Well, first of all, my house is probably the most important thing to me because I'm kind of a homebody.
Right.
I would rather stay home and watch American Idol than anything else at the end of a long day because we work so hard. So having a place where, you know, you feel comfortable and you love to be, and it's kind of like my haven, and you know, everything in it I want to reflect and to be representative of who I am.
Now, most people have two lives, I want to say. Like, they have their career and they have their family. Yours is a little blurred because your family is your career.
Oh, honey, it's not blurred. It is the same thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're just going to cut to the chase in this interview.
Yeah. It is basically, I get up each and every day and I work with my kids. You know,
Right.
I work with my family, all my family members, my extended family, my grandson, anybody my kids are dating. It's, you know, quite the
Everything's fair game.
Yeah.
Now, you've called yourself a momager, which I love, but one of your fans sent in a question. They want to know, what is the difference between a momager and a pageant mom? Could you explain that to someone who doesn't understand?
A pageant mom is somebody probably that has a specific desire for a young child's life or career for a very limited amount of time.
Right.
You know, with a specific goal in mind. They want their child to be a beauty queen or be in a fashion, you know, show, kind of a runway scenario. Being a momager is a mother who also manages her family's or her children's career. And I take my children and set goals and aspirations for an entire lifetime, and basically build a brand around those children and, you know, manage their careers day by day, moment by moment. But it's usually done with kids who, you know, have something going on, you know, and not something that I make out of thin air. You know, I feel like my role in my kids' life, I'm their manager and I'm their mom. So on different days, I'm different things. Different hours, I'm different things. You know, 1 minute I might be their mom, and 20 minutes later, I'm their manager making, you know, big time business decisions for the rest of their lives.
Well, I've been in the industry for like 15 years, and just, you know, I wish my mom was my manager because, you know, you can trust her, and you'd have, you know, the best interest for your kids at all times.
Yeah, and I get 10%.
Oh, even better. There you go. What do you think?
I'm not stupid.
What do you think is some of the misconceptions of you as a mom from what people see on TV?
Well, I think that I'm definitely not I'm not the strict parent. I've never been that person. I've never been the one who, you know, is going to be the one who is the hardcore, you know, let's raise our kids like this. I'm more loosey-goosey. So I love to have a good time.
Is your mom like that? Because I've met your mom several times.
Yeah.
Is she kind of like free-spirited like you?
Yeah, I think she is. So she's kind of in the middle, but she's definitely more of a free spirit, and I've always had a really close relationship with all of my family members growing up, so I didn't know any different. And my dream in my life was to have 6 kids and have this big, huge, happy family that, you know, sat around the fireplace on Christmas Eve and drank hot cocoa waiting for Santa. I mean, I'm totally a romantic, you know, hopelessly have these fantasies about family life, and I wanted to see if I could raise my children to kind of have the same dreams and goals and visions that I did about family, and they did. You know, I think it's all about, you know, it's like somebody, you know, giving a party. It's what you put into it. It's what you know, you can design it any way you want. When you raise kids, I read a book once called Children Are Wet Cement. And it was, somebody gave it to me when I was a very young mom. And I thought, wow, that's so interesting. You know, the things that you teach your children and that we raise our kids to be. I mean, for me, it was, you know, God first, family second, being a good person, you know, all those things that you try to instill in your children, I was lucky enough to see the fruits of that labor. But at the same time, I'm not the disciplinarian, that tough person. I'm a little more loose, and I expect my kids to love me for, who I was and how I raised them. And they did. They loved it.
Would you say that your strength comes from your relationship with God?
Oh yeah, that's definitely where my heart is. I pray about everything. I think that God, I'm a firm believer that
in Christianity.
Oh yeah,
okay.
I believe in Jesus Christ, and I believe that there is a plan. I believe that God made all of us, and I think that there's definitely a reason for everything. And no matter what happens in your life, horrible adversity or great success, I think, and I've been through both in my life. There's a reason for it, and I have a great faith in God. And I think that gets me through all of the things that we go through.
I'm going to ask this question as a son of a minister. So,
okay.
obviously,
Will you pray for me?
Yeah. Well, you know my backstory, so
Yeah.
you know that I'm more gray. I'm not black and white.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to those people who feel like a Christian should fit into this mold? Obviously, your family does not fit into that cookie cutter mold.
No.
How would you define your relationship with God then, if you're not? Do you see where I'm going at?
I don't think God wants us to fit into any mold. I think that God certainly
Thank
has.
you.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, that would be silly for us to think that we're all supposed to be exactly the same. I think that one thing that, my religious journey, if you want to call it that, has taught me is that, anything is possible. And
Mark 10:27.
there you go.
With
And
God,
if-
all things are possible.
Yeah, and if
Just saying.
yeah, just in
Using
case
that
anybody wants to
minor
know,
biblical studies.
that,
There you
yeah,
go.
hey,
Okay, there.
we've got this on the tip of our tongue. So I think that one thing that surprises people about us is that we do. My kids were raised. We're taping here. Sorry.
Back to Jesus. It was actually God on the phone. He was like, "Hey, Kris,
yeah,
great
God's
job."
calling. We're taping here. If we could have a little quiet, that would be great.
Hey, Bruce.
What are you taping?
We're doing a little web content right now.
Yeah.
Oh, a little web content.
Okay,
Go for
hush,
it.
little darling. God bless him.
Seriously.
Son of a bitch. I think that God definitely doesn't want us to fit into one mold. And I think that that's, people would be really surprised to know that I raised all my kids going to church on Sunday, and my kids went to Christian preschool, all 6 of them. And then Kourtney, Kimberly, and Khloe, believe it or not, went to an all-girl Catholic high school and junior high, because I figured that was the closest thing I could get them to having prayer in their life on a daily basis. I felt like that was so important in their lives to keep God, in there, in the mix. And it's almost like moms who try to give their kids vegetables and sneak them into like pizza.
Right.
So
you snuck God into like a
I
Nabisco
did.
tree.
I
There we
did.
go.
They didn't even feel it. Yeah. So I mean, to me, it was always a priority, like even their education. So I think when you put God first, anything can happen. And even a family as crazy as ours can be totally, have a great relationship with God and live our lives really full, really blessed. I feel like I have the most amazing family in the world, and we all love each other, really hard. And that's all that matters.
What was it like for you as a mother and as an ex-wife watching Robert Kardashian go through that process of, slowly passing away? Like, where did you draw your strength from?
Well, I think that, definitely from God.
Right.
I mean, Robert Kardashian was the one who sort of convinced me when I was 18 years old to be a born-again Christian. So we used to go to these Bible study meetings at Pat Boone's house.
No way.
Back in the 70s. Yeah.
Pat
So,
Boone.
yeah. So
Bless
that was,
him.
yeah. So that goes way back. But that was, Robert's always been an inspiration to
Right.
me. And he was, when he passed away, was one of my dearest friends. We were able to really be great friends. After the first few years of being divorced, we realized that, we really, loved each other on some level. And my kids were so devastated by the fact that he was that sick. I mean, we never really believed that he would die, but I always knew, because he was such a good person, and because he was such an amazing Christian, and because he was such an incredible friend and human being, that God probably needed him more than I did, or more than we did. And I always knew somehow, instinctively, even when I was very young and married to him, that God would at some point,
Need him back.
need him back. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I really always thought that. And I thought, you meet people in your life that make such an impact, and he obviously changed my life forever. I have 4 of the most beautiful children, that I'm forever grateful for. But I think that my kids learned so much from that, and it was so impactful, that whole situation. My mom suffered from breast cancer, and then she had colon cancer, and she is 76 years old, and
Dancing with me, do Lady Gaga, your Halloween party.
Yeah, she thinks she's Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
My mother, it's crazy. You think I'm crazy?
She's a hoot.
Yeah. So it was really a struggle going through that, and Robert went through that with me. And then my dad passed away 8 weeks before Robert died.
No.
So he was in a car accident and broke his sternum, and then ended up in a hospital and died of a staph infection, which was really crazy. So when you lose people suddenly like that, when I say suddenly, I mean, within
back
weeks.
to back.
Yeah, it's devastating. And to this day, I think about both of them at least once a day. It changes your life forever, because you feel like, how can my life go on without these people that were so important to me? I mean, they would have been like, they would have loved what's going on now. Robert was so proud of his kids, and would be just ecstatic at what great entrepreneurs they are, and what great work ethic they have.
But as a mom, how do you help them grieve?
Well, each one grieves differently. Kourtney was very sad, but she had anger. Khloe was really upset and really couldn't see her dad in the last couple of days, because she was devastated. So with her, she got so devastated when he died that she lost all of her hair. It literally all fell out. We were like, what is going on? It was devastating. And Kim was the strong one, but grieved inside privately. And Kim was actually able to get up and give the eulogy at his funeral. So that, I was numb. And I was numb. I go into a mode where, I cook things, or I clean my drawers. I need that kind of therapy. So I think for each and every one of us, there was an underlying theme of God got us through, because we, prayer, and we were together, and we knew that it was in God's plan somehow. We didn't like the plan at the moment, but there's a bigger picture out there somewhere, and we have to have faith in that. And it's so hard to do when you're crying, and when you're mourning. But I think you just help each person through something, and do it on their terms, on their level, and according to their needs.
I think that's amazing advice. Thank you. Thank you for answering that question. I know it's really personal.
Yeah, no, of course.
What was it like living through the trial of the century? Was it just...
that was, sometimes I feel like it never even happened, because it was so surreal. And again, somebody that I was very close to and loved very much, and murdered in such a tragic, horrific way, so suddenly, and you're just like, one day your life is one way, and the next day your life changes instantly.
You were in the courthouse. Like, how did you do that?
You do, God gives you strength that you never knew that you had. And
how do you take that strength on, though? Like, how do you, because I feel like you become a superhuman. Like, how do you push through?
You just do. You get up every day and you put one foot in front of the other, and you get out of bed. I think the main thing for me was I didn't allow myself to stay in bed and put the covers over my head like I wanted to. You know how people say, oh, I was so upset, or just it upset me so much I couldn't get out of bed?
Yes.
I made myself, soldier on. You just have to. I had to be strong for my kids because they had one parent on one side of the case and another on the other. And, you have to put your differences aside for your family and for your children. And that's the most important thing. The biggest job I had that year was just being a mom and being there for my family. Also, other people, I think, give you strength. I think if you can learn from other people, that other people go through adversity and have really hard times in their life and they can overcome all these different things, it gives you hope and strength and, motivation to do the same thing in your own life. I think that if somebody gives you courage to do something that you're afraid to do, even if it's getting out of bed after someone passes away, or, how are they going to get through life without that person? I'm living proof that you can. You can get through anything if you are strong, set your mind to it, pray about it. It works for me.
Did you think OJ was guilty?
It's not something that's kind of like a real personal thing.
Okay,
that
I
write
just,
about. Yeah.
no.
I just think that it ruined a lot of, everyone involved. My heart aches for Nicole's parents.
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's just move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had 110 people ask that.
Did you really?
Yeah, people were really obsessed, and they want you
Yeah.
to write a book about it.
Yeah.
So
They
I just didn't want to make you feel
No,
uncomfortable.
no, I'm not uncomfortable. I just think that, everybody, it's something that everybody wants to know, and I am in the middle of writing a book.
Oh, there we go.
So-
You heard it here.
Stay tuned. Yeah, I'm writing it right now with
Okay.
an amazing author, Mark Seal,
Mhm.
who is one of the head writers for Vanity Fair, and we're spending an awful lot of time on that subject.
Well, I think you have an amazing story, and the tagline on my website is "Everyone has a story." And I think
Yeah.
what's so amazing about you, because I've gotten to know you a little bit, you're really fun, and
Thank you.
family is always important. Your parties are insane, and you can every time I've been here, I felt a love. Like I felt like I was welcomed into a family. So I wanted to say thank you,
Oh.
and I wanted to close with. If you could just say one word about each of your kids and Bruce, just think about it for a second. I'm going to name off their names.
Okay.
And just one word, the first word that
One
comes to your
word.
mind.
Okay.
So let's start off with Bruce, who you married when you were 30.
Mm-hmm.
What's the first word that comes to your mind?
Annoying.
Why?
No, Bruce is supportive. Supportive. He's amazing.
That's what everyone needs.
Yeah, support. He's supportive. In any single thing that I would do ever, he would be 150% on my team and on board. And he may not agree with me all the time, which is where the annoying comes in. But no, I'm kidding. But he is an amazing guy. Yeah.
Kourtney.
Stubborn. Kourtney is stubborn, and that's a good thing. Kourtney knows exactly what she wants and how to get there. And Kourtney will, she's an amazing young lady who makes me so proud because she's the most beautiful mother. You often wonder when you have children what they're going to be like as parents and how are they going to kind of transition into that role. And I have never seen anything like, Kourtney didn't even like kids, and then she got pregnant and it was a whole different, she was like ran and bought every book she could and researched her role as being a mom and everything she wanted to offer her child. And then, just when you think you have it all figured out, your baby's born and it's all different than what you ever expected.
Game change.
Mm-hmm. So I'm so proud of Kourtney, but she is very stubborn, and I think that serves her well. It's just perfect for her.
Now, since Scott is an extension of Kourtney, one word for Scott.
Douche. No, I'm kidding. No, Scott, one word for Scott. Dapper.
Absolutely. Every time I've been here, he's been in a suit.
He is so dapper, and what
He's
a great
fly.
dad. Yeah, he's very fly.
Yeah.
And he's a great dad. He's really a great dad. Scott's been really, really great, and he's done a 180 in Kourtney's life.
How about Kim?
So, beautiful with the tagline inside and out. Yeah, Kim has the most beautiful spirit and generous to a fault and just amazing. I mean, she's an amazing young lady that I'm so proud of, you know, her work ethic and the way she is with her friends and her family, and she's caring.
Khloe.
Love bug.
She's a sweetheart, that
Smart.
Khloe.
Oh, Khloe is delicious. She really
I like
is.
that. Khloe is delicious.
Delicious.
And she smells great too.
Yeah.
Unbreakable. There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah. By the way, did I mention we have a fragrance line? She is a really smart young lady who turned out to be the most amazing wife that you can imagine. I mean, you go to Khloe's house and you just don't ever want to leave because she, you know, you raise your kids a certain way, and I like my home, you know, very particular, and I like things just so, and if you mess up my house, you get your head handed to you. So Khloe's the same way. Like, you know,
You both are a lot alike. I was watching a bunch
Right?
of interviews for this, and I was like, they're almost the same person.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I know, but she's so much like, she's my little twin soul when it comes to the way she has her house. And that makes me really proud that she wants everything, you know, a certain way. She likes things to be just, you know, perfect. But it, you know, that she spends a lot of her downtime making sure that the house is amazing for her hubby. And it's really cute.
Lamar.
Delicious.
There you go.
Yeah,
Times
he's
two.
the delicious one. He is, wow, what a great guy. I've never been so happy to have somebody in my family, you know, in my life, other than, you know, the kids I've given birth to. But he is got such a sweet spirit and loves her so much and makes her so happy. And when your kids are happy,
Then you're happy. Well, the next child, I got so many Rob questions. So shout out to the Rob Kardashian fan site. Thank you very much.
Oh
So
my
how do
God.
you feel about Rob in one word?
Smart, intelligent. He's so, he's a mama's boy, I think. And I like to, I have great moments
There's nothing
with
wrong
Rob.
with that.
We just went, he'd hate me for saying that, but we just went on vacation and I had so much fun with Rob. And, you know, he's somebody who, because he is so smart and so strong and really, you know, got his thing together, sometimes I forget to nurture him the same way that I do the girls. You know, and I think he feels that sometimes. And so right now I'm trying to give him a little bit of extra attention.
Kendall?
Amazing. There's just one word, amazing. It's what a gift that child is. She's perfect. I mean, she's like, when she was 2 years old, she would at 7 o'clock go, okay, Mama, I'm putting myself to bed now. I mean,
Whoa.
that's
Unheard
Kendall.
of.
Kendall, in a nutshell, that's her whole life. Like the perfect child. Like her room is perfect. She makes her own bed. She studies. She loves school. She causes no problems. She's not really into boys. You know, like she's not boy crazy. She's 15 years old. And at a time when most teens, you know, are going through, you know, a bad teenage stage, or Kendall is caring
And I noticed loyal.
loyal.
Yeah, when she's been around with all of her friends, very loyal.
Yes. Loyal. She's the perfect friend, the perfect daughter, I mean, she rides her horse and she's a cheerleader and she's just a really good, like if you wanted to make a list of the perfect child, it would be Kendall Jenner.
Well, that's a tough one to follow. So Kylie.
Kylie. No, Kylie, one word, funny. Kylie is so funny. Kylie is a practical joker, and she's my little love bug too. She's just like Khloe. Kylie and Khloe are twins. And Kylie, when I even get down for a second, if Kylie feels or senses that I'm in a bad mood or maybe having a moment, Kylie's the first one to perk me back up and get me back on my feet by telling me a joke, playing a practical, stunt, giving me a hug, coming up behind me and rubbing my neck. I mean, she's just divine.
I think, and I really mean this, I'm not just saying this, but I think you are honestly one of the most amazing moms and woman I've ever met. Like you were, and I've heard so many great things about you from mutual friends, and it sounds like you just kind of take everyone under your wing and you're the mom to everybody. So on behalf of America, thank you very much for everything that you've given us, entertainment, laughter, and today I think you've shown grace and strength, and I really appreciate that. I think you're going to speak to a lot of people. If you want more information on the beautiful and wonderful, amazing Love Bug, call her. Follow her on Twitter, just look below, and check out the new season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians starting on June 12th.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much, and thanks for watching with Josh.com.
Thanks, Josh.